So here's a tutorial for create a rigid body dynamics animation. That's some tricks I used on demo scene for K-Boom. So let's do it. We create the brick by scaling this down and scaling it on the side. Maybe I can enable screencast keys. Is it? Yeah. Okay, so we have this. We can just create a chamfer like so. And what we will do, we'll just duplicate this like so, scale it up like that, and I will add some section on this part. Yeah, just like this, because I will use some displacement on it, and I want some faces for that, not on this one. And that's okay, like so. We will join this by using bool tool. Let's apply this. Okay, I can remove the base mesh. We will apply two different material on it. First is brick. Let's use random color for this. And let's use it on the viewport display. Okay, and the other part will be cement. Okay, so now I just want to select this one and apply it reversed. Like so. Okay, so now let's say this is a rigid body. So when you duplicate the rigid body, when you position it, you have to keep a space between them, a small space. If not, the rigid body will not have a normal behavior. It will explode. So let's duplicate this. Let me do it again. Small space. And Shift R to duplicate this. Let's duplicate it up with a Shift. Like so, and we can just redo it again. So, and Shift R. So we have the brick wall, but with some space between the bricks, and we don't want that. So to solve this, I will create a simple geometry node. Let's select this first one, and new. I could have done this before duplication, so it would have been simpler. Anyway, we can use this as a transform geometry, and transform geometry will let us scale it without changing the size of the base rigid body. And this is very, very cool to be able to do this with GeometryNodes. So now I want all of this to have the same modifier. So let's select everything and Control C, this is the copy attribute extension. Just enable this, very important. So here we have copy modifiers, and every bricks have the same modifier. So you can adjust. Maybe I want less space. That's not what I want to do. Let's less space vertically. Maybe more like so. Okay, looks good. And now we can test the rigid bodies. Add active, let's do a floor. And object, add passive. Okay, I just want my timeline back. And now it works because rigid body are set on deform. If I change all these bricks to final, it will not work fine because it will take the modifier in the simulation. If you want to be sure it will take the base of the modifier, just use just change it to base. And it works, despite the fact the rigid body just interpret penetrating, and that's cool. And what is cool, you can randomize the location because this is too regular disposition, the location for the bricks. So for this, we just will change to geometry 2 instance. So based on this, we can add some rotate instances. And let me see how I've done this before. So now you can just add a random rotation. Okay, I want to go from -1 to 1. I like to not to change this value to adjust. Just want I like to use the vector mat node, and use a scale value. This is so much easy to change the value. So that's okay, but what is missing is that we want a different value for each brick, and we will need to change the seed of each brick. For that, we just join this, and now in the modifier you can see if you change this value, you have something different. So I want to change this value for every bricks. Of course, I will not do it by hand, and I will just use a simple script. And here it is. It just take every selected object and change this value. If you select something else than the brick with this modifier, it will not work. So be careful with the selection. So just do this, and now you can see everything is different, but nothing changes because it has to be refreshed. So just plug in and plug back, and now you can change. You can add some random, and this is pretty cool, and the rigid body still works very nicely. So for that, for what I can do, I can add another cool trick here. With the selection, you can use a random. If you use a random in the selection part, it give you a probability. So Based on that, you have to link the seed too. Based on that, you can reduce. If you are on 1, every bricks are moved. If you are on 0.2, for example, you can adjust some bricks, and this is much more realistic. Okay, let's use on the same base. You can use a translate instances, and you can just duplicate these nodes like so, and move it, link it there. But on this on the translation, I just want translation to be in the Y. So let's say it to 0, and now it's always simply move this way. And now you have a cool brick wall. So that's it for the geometry node. Oh, you can see, if you want to see what it's before the transformation, just add the switch. And you can take the original geometry and transform the one, and with this you can, this is what the rigid body see, and this is what is rendered. So now we want to add some material to this, and we will find some cool tricks for that. So first let's create the brick material. I will use the object info. Object info node is cool because it has this. This is the random. This is a random value by object, and this is pretty cool. This is what is missing in GeometryNodes. This is why we use this script, and it's cool because in the material editor there's this functionality. So let's use it. We can just simply create a noise texture, and I don't want this. I will use a ramp, color ramp, with 2 bricks color. So, and like so, and I will use a saturation, use saturation value, in the color. Okay, and I will use the random value in the value, or in the value, and then I can change the impact of this effect. And with just few nodes you can have some nice effects. Let's push this to 6 to have some texture on the noise, and let's push this. So this is much more like brick. Okay, then what I can do, I can use the same for to create some stains. Oh. Let's reset the color ramp. That. This like so, and I would just do that in object mode. And here you can see I have the same noise on every brick. So to change this, I will use this random value in the location of the noise. So this is magic. If you can see some repetition sometimes, so you can add a math node and use it as a multiply and change this value until you don't see some repetition on the noise. So that's it. Now I will just add a mixed color like so, and multiply and use this noise to just add some stain on the bricks. And I can use this as a bump. In the 8 and like so, and you can change this value to create a much better noise. Maybe I will just go back to 0.5. Yeah, so it's pretty intense. And maybe too much. Yeah, like so. And I just want to remove the roughness, so I can push this up. Look like bricks. So once I've done that, I can select everything, copy it, and just go there, pass this here. Let's remove this one, like that one, and I will just change some value, like the color. I want it to desaturate, remove saturation, so we have this. I want the noise to be much more like so, and I will add something. I will add a displacement. In the 8 value, and put it there. And what I want to do, I want to change the settings and surface, and let's go for displacement and bump, and then you can change this value. Am I okay with this? In the 8.5, yeah, this is the value I want to use. So maybe I can change this to a lower value, and now this looks like cement. And it works. Maybe I can add some EV shadows, ray tracing. Let's add darker floor with no reflection. So that's the tricks. One last trick is to imagine you want to add some painting on this wall. How can you do that easily? Let's add a texture. I will use it. Let's add an image. This one, UV editor, and let's see this image. Okay, so we'll use the UVs. UV, it's okay, and if I join this over the color, we'll have something like that. As you can see, it's not good. So let's select all the bricks. Let's go in the front view, go to edit mode, select everything, and just use the U to create a project from view bound. So the entire wall is there, and now you can see it's okay. So let's add the same. Let's add the same on the cement. So the paint will be here too. Like so. I want, yeah, this is a mix. Should be a mix here. Okay. And now it's pretty cool, pretty efficient. But we have this here. So for that, we'll just select all the side. Select all the sides. The backside faces, so, and I will create a U and reset. So this is the faces. I will scale it to 0 and move it in the white part. You can move it in the lower part of the image. And now it's okay. So that's it. Based on these little tricks, you can create your own animation, and you can use, of course, Kaboom to create some very improved animation with some cool explosion and destruction very easily. So enjoy!